So we were in a meeting the other day that we have every week before we record because we're like, what are we even going to talk about? And one of you fuckers said our Ginger's black thing. And I said, what are you talking about? And
stop saying this every week. Explain yourself.
Is ginger like, it feels like a slur.
Well,
it's all the same letters.
I was going to say, it feels like a very British thing actually but I think for the most part, ginger, calling a redhead ginger, has become pretty acceptable.
Ginger ninja.
Well, the reason I'm joking when I say it sounds like a slur, but it is like one of those things like South Park made like a really common, anyone with redhead, gingers don't have souls, like that type of thing.
They had a whole episode, right, that was like anti-gingers.
That
Absolutely.
didn't ever use the fact that it's an anagram of the N-word as a joke, which I always thought it kind of would.
Okay, I'm seeing it now.
As a racist, I was disappointed.
Well, it's because it's pronounced ningers.
Oh. Actually, it is very British.
My
Call it somebody.
stepdad from a small town
Right,
would
yeah.
say.
Those ningers came out of everywhere.
You gotta look out for these guys. What'd you say, Greta?
This is a ninja sword.
And then, Greta, you know I'm black, right?
I just need to remind y'all again. Everyone who is ginger, who has red hair, those are black people. If they have red hair, they are black. You see a white man with red hair, that's a black man. You see a white woman with red hair, that's a black woman. Gingers are black. All gingers.
Me drunk on the TED Talk stage. the
Wait,
real speaker didn't turn up.
What are the comments like on the original video? Because she's obviously like memeing.
Interesting thing to me about this is race is a social construct. Huh? There's nothing actually biological about race. It's society created it.
Why are you always measuring my head with them calipers?
Because I'm trying to find out what race you are.
Yeah, oh, I can dunk. It's just a bit, right? This one's just a joke.
Well, I don't know. Let's
No?
see. There's another video from.
These comments of hell yeah sister then white power fist is a little like, I'm like, okay, I think we're still doing the same joke. I think we're all on the same team here.
I did my DNA test and I'm actually from South Africa. Whoa!
Okay.
I am a ginger.
I'm a ginger with blue eyes. I don't care about what Yu-Gi-Oh cards you have.
They got white guys in South Africa? You don't say.
Also, there's like a indigenous group in Japan that has red hair. Just throwing that.
Why do you
out
look?
there.
Why do you look mad?
Let's watch her explanation.
Oh, she explains it. That's funny. I do like that she doesn't explain, and then she's like, fine, I'll explain. It's this obvious fact.
You didn't go to school?
Yeah.
Why gingers are black? A lot of y'all Irish people were right beside black people on the plantation. All of y'all are descendants of a Haitian deity named Brigitte Samedi. That's why all gingers are black.
I wasn't expecting that answer.
What? I wasn't expecting lore. That's cool.
What does Khadijah say about this?
This whole gingers are black thing reminds me of that time that girl came on here. She was basically talking about how in all these black sitcoms, anytime there was a white character, they were usually a redhead. Like Zoe from the Proud Family, Chelsea from That's So Raven, Stevie from the Parkers. And it got me thinking maybe we've always been here. We've known this from our childhood.
Epigenetic memory.
There's just always been this like subconscious link.
It's like how
Just asking questions.
Moths and butterflies will sometimes occupy the same space, despite they're not non-compatible species. But hey,
And just like black people and white people are non-compatible species.
I've been having this idea.
What is this? What is happening right now?
Anastasia said it first.
As a ginger, I'm not 100%. I'm not offended. This person's like taking it so seriously, and
I'll do my ginger voice.
What?
I'm nervous about this. Go ahead.
Well,
This is every American voice that you do is this guy.
Yeah, you have one
right.
American voice.
Peter.
Well,
As a ginger.
okay.
As a Lois.
As a Lois, okay.
I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it. I'm not in any way offended. It just doesn't quite feel right when the discrimination I experienced is nowhere near what actual black people have.
Actual black people is a very funny term here because it implies.
It does accept it.
It does imply that they are now. Now that I've learned that I'm black.
That's more of like a light skin statement to say.
Yeah.
You know, like actual
Actual black
like,
people.
when we're having like self-doubt as opposed to a ginger guy being like, well, Yeah, I'm black, but I don't know if I'm like quite. We have found an authority on the topic.
Oh, finally a black person to speak.
Are redheads black people? Let's talk about it.
She didn't say
Okay,
ginger.
so I'm actually super excited. That video actually got super viral because this is something I've talked about with me and all of my black friends for like years now. And I have a lot of thoughts about this, so this is gonna be a longer video, just bear with me, but I think you'll enjoy it. Now, just as a disclaimer, I don't think redheads are black people. I don't think any redhead can speak to what it's like being a black person in America. But anyway, that being said, let's get into it.
Me and my black friends are always talking about how I'm like low-key black.
Also, I live in the back rooms.
So redheads have not been treated the best throughout history by white people. During the Salem witch trials, a lot of us are burned at the stake. Hitler apparently briefly banned marriage to redheads. We were thought to be vampires in actually several different cultures.
Yeah, dude, the Italians discriminate those, but the Sicilians is not fucking fair. Look, this is a
Wait, what are the
real
comments like on
thing,
that?
historically?
I mean, there's
not just those two types of people that got discriminated against.
Someone said, like, literally, what is even happening?
I mean, am I missing some nuance here, or is it? Can I confidently say, literally, what is the difference between this and saying that Asians are black people?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so stupid that anyone take this seriously.
Yeah,
that's my point.
I don't want to belittle any of the discrimination that people have, or sexual harassment, like this person's talking about in this comment. It's like, yeah, that stuff is so gross.
I mean, that's a symptom of a much larger issue. It's patriarchal. That's like, you know, it's
I think there's something to be said about by someone smarter than me. This like proximity to like prototypical whiteness and how like discrimination just keeps moving the goalpost. And so
it's what a lot of bickering online is. We were actually talking about it before the show for a separate reason. Anastasia was discriminating. But like a lot of the time, I think a certain type of prejudice is not experienced directly by people, by a person. It tends to get lumped in as a generic experience.
Right.
It's like, I got hit by a car. I got hit by a helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I'm not speaking
like,
for myself.
And you don't want to do the like oppression Olympics or like.
Yeah,
it's just a different.
You can't compare.
But yeah, I mean, maybe even if I don't even want to talk about like severity, which I would still argue is different. The severity that it would be, I got hit by a car. And I got hit by an F1 car.
Well, I think that what you're saying, and again, it should be discussed by someone smarter than me probably, but like individual comparisons aren't like a thing you can make because there's always extremes on either end. But what you're really discussing is systems of oppression.
Yes.
And like how those systems subjugate people of color. But yeah, it's like Irish people being viewed as like outsiders and then kind of being like accepted into the like white culture.
But I do think there's something specific to the African American identity that is like dislocated diaspora. It is taken from, as opposed to the way that a lot of, I feel like race discrimination in the UK is interpreted, which is far more about like,
I think
it's just wrong, don't do that, as opposed to like, look what we did to these people.
To add to your point, like post-slavery, I think is what makes the African American experience different because of Jim Crow, because of the length of time when slavery was illegal, but there was like institutionalized discrimination to kind of still force slavery to happen.
It's also not the case right now.
And also, when people talk about like racist systems founding the country, it's much of it is the institutionalized, like post-slavery, quote unquote, post-slavery America laundering the kind of subjugating an identity of people and kind of co-locating it with class, and then having the there's the was it Nixon who had the leaked tapes of his like person being like, oh yeah, we can't call them like black people, but like we can't say these words anymore, but like effectively the system targets exactly the same people that they've always been targeting.
It's so sick anytime politicians get caught with terminology like that, because it's like, oh, you're like Skeletor, like you're just full
evil. But it sucks that he was already dead by the time those tapes came out.
But like, it's like those systems, like many would argue, and I would agree, to a large extent have never gone away. They have just
taken different
forms or continue to like launder themselves and embed themselves deeper into the fabric of the country. And then when people try to challenge them, you get those like, well, racism is over, slavery ended a long time ago. And it's a little bit, to me, naive, because when you build something on rotten foundation, it doesn't matter if you fucking like paint over it.
Yeah, it's like a foundation, like a favela.
Yeah,
it's like, well, really the issue is that you should be providing adequate housing for people. And it's like, no, we'll paint them like nice colors.
Yeah,
like, that doesn't.
Or no, it's like, hey, the Olympics are coming to town. Let's build like coverings so you can't see all the poor
facade
people.
Of clouds, like Truman Show.
Oh my god.
And I guess we're getting away from
gingers. This is like a silly argument because it's like saying, are apples oranges? It's like, no, they're apples.
No, but
what are you
fruit.
talking about?
But they are fruit.
Apples have their own experience and oranges have their own experience.
Yeah. Orange, you glad you're not an apple. Why'd you say is oranges gingers? Is that what you did that on purpose?
I didn't think about it.
You said that because they're orange? It's funny though, because I'm also like, this is the type of thing, we are talking about it, so it's hypocritical, but like, of course the internet is going to get into like a deep kind of discussion about it when in reality, there's like, I get what they're trying to say, but then now it like takes on a life of its own and it becomes like a discourse of the day.
I think a lot of the time I see people kind of distance, throw these general kinds of conversations or online moments like this, they throw them in a bucket of like, hey, it's just rage bait, it's whatever. The thing is though, is that I feel like when we talk about this, or when a lot of people talk about it, they're not replying to the person making the video. We're really replying to the thousands of sincere commenters. That is who they're like you can make pure bait if someone just made a video that's like, actually, I think the Empire was right in Star Wars, and they're tricking you. And then a bunch of people in the comments are like, dude, agree so hard. So I'm actually with you. Well, then the criticism to make is, look at what the fuck are you talking about? You're insane.
Let's watch this, but I do have to point out that the suggested search on this video is how are gingers black science? That's clearly like a 14-year-old who's like genuinely confused.
It's very funny to think of some racist white gingers that are like, what the fuck? No, please.
Do you think that redheads are kind of like the light skins or the black people of white people?
Wait, we have the light skins.
No, they're the light skins of white people. Oh, the light skins
of white? Oh.
Doesn't that mean they're less black? They're even lighter skin?
Okay, I get what they're trying to say, but it requires a lot more understanding of.
It's funny to bring in colorism while suggesting that the color doesn't matter at the same time.
We will always have like a certain bond, I think, with other minorities.
I don't mess with this. I don't like it. I don't know what started this conversation. I think someone said all gingers are black, and now here we are. Most people are just having fun with this conversation, not taking it too seriously, a lot of satire, things of that nature. But I'm a party pooper. I'm here to hate.
Hell yeah, brother. That's what we need.
You look at the statement, the black people of white people. What the hell does that even mean? What you're doing is you're essentially using black people to be synonymous with oppression. And you can't tell me that's not weird. This is like a skinny girl with an unattractive face saying, even though I'm skinny, I constantly get made fun of for my face. So in a sense, if you think about it, I'm kind of like the fat people of skinny people. Do you guys see how ridiculous that sounds? What does the overweight community have to do with your ugly face? I understand the objective is to relate to a certain group of people, but if this isn't the most backhanded way to do so, then I don't know what is.
I agree with this point that it's like, why are people taking it so seriously?
Yeah.
Like, that's the weird thing is the internet's response to it.
Because like, for example, someone like Khadijah has like very, very thoughtful like video essays and things that discuss like issues like this, right? And she's just having fun, right? But then when people, like, that's why when I see this long ass video, I'm like, okay, let's relax.
I do think this is a uniquely, and I'm as guilty of it, I've been here too long at this point, but I'm as guilty as anyone. There is a kind of uniquely American disease of starting a reply to something with I or me. Me personally, me, myself, I, like recentering the conversation, not as a reply,
but as a statement. And it works. It's just like a dialectical thing. And I think it has seeped into the brains a little bit when it comes to, okay, well, if we're talking about something, let me be the protagonist of this part of the conversation. Like, well, I'm a white person, I can't just make a comment about this. I need to be it. Does that make sense?
My experience.
This is what I am experiencing, or I have done. I feel like if a non-ginger person made that video, all of a sudden it would reignite some degree of like conflict, because it just doesn't matter. It's just team sports. It's just fighting. It's just whatever.
Yeah.
And the thing is that it isn't. It is more important than that. It does have weight. And also, like, Italians make a similar argument, and there is a validity to the oppression and subjugation of Italians in America and essentially any immigrant that would come here. But there is not, to my knowledge, a disproportional number of Italians killed by the police anymore.
Yeah.
There may have been, but it matters if it's happening.
Conflating the like oppression with like racism and oppression go hand in hand, but like not all prejudice is racism. Yeah, the conflation of those things, like this creator, West Best, like, you know, conflating black people with oppression is like a very dangerous precedent. But the original creator,
replying to that,
like the original creator, I'm willing to charitably think that they're like,
definitely.
It's such a short fucking video. That's why I'm like, okay.
The follow-up is so funny.
But then, you know, when we're starting to do think pieces about it, it's almost like pulling out more than the original. It's a little bit taking the bait.
Yeah.
In the earnesty of it, like, to something that wasn't necessarily earnest to begin with.
And it's what kind of where I say in our case, we are replying to the reply. It's not no part of us saw that and go like, oh, it's
and also I have nothing against this creator who is speaking their experience.
I'm gonna be Googling Haitian deities. I need to know more.
It's insane that you don't know.
And I also mean that I have nothing against this like redhead creator as well, who's like speaking to their experience, because I'm sure they got enough, you know, responses where they're learning from that. I'm willing to like kind of just move on from that.